Hi guys, my name is Novo Kumalo. If it's your first time here, welcome to the family. Join us please. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for your continued support and welcome back. Before we go any further, please check that you subscribed, and if you're not, just click the red subscribe button down below and the notification bell so that every time I upload something, you will be notified. Look guys, we're trying to grow this year. We're currently set at 4,300 and something subscribers. Please, Tusang guys, help me. Let's get those subscription numbers up and let's help the channel grow. Another thing, please guys, watch the ads. Please watch the ads. So that is how I make the few coins that I make here on YouTube. As much as I'm not on YouTube for the money, I think it is nice, sometimes to just get like an extra little something, to keep the motivation going. So guys, please watch the ads when they pop up. Stand up, go and grab a glass of water or check your Instagram or whatever and just let the ad play and then continue with the video. So anyway, let's get straight into today's business. So as you will see from the title, today is a story time and I want to be open and vulnerable with you guys. This is about something that happened over a year ago and I wasn't really going to share. But I'll tell you why I'm sharing. Two reasons, I think. The first one is that I'm sharing this today so that someone out there knows that even for those people who look put together, sometimes things just don't work according to plan. This is for someone who might feel like it seems things just seem to work perfectly for others and never for them. So this is just a word to say, look, social media especially, we never really show our downsides or our lows and our failures. We always show the positive, but that doesn't mean those things are not happening, right? So this is an encouragement to say life is happening to all of us in equal measure according to the measures that God has allowed to be dished to us, and you're not alone. So keep your head up high, as we always do here. Keep your head up high and keep believing that God is working things out for your good. The second reason why I'm sharing is as a reminder to myself, because I am currently in a space where I'm going through a season where I need God to remind me, or where I need to remind myself of God's goodness in the past, where I need to remind myself of the times where I felt like, things were never going to work out. And God showed up for me as He always does. If you're day one and you've been on this channel for a while, you will know that I am Zimbabwean, but I studied law in South Africa. And during my uni in South Africa, I got an amazing opportunity to come and work for a law firm here in London, the United Kingdom, which is where I am. It's one of the what they call magic circle firms in the UK, which is like the top 5 UK headquartered firms, right? So came over and, cut the long story short, did whatever courses I needed to do to convert my South African law degree and eventually ended up working at this big firm. So the initial period was 2 years of what we call a training contract, which is what they call articles back in South Africa. And then after that, there's the decision whether you're going to continue with the firm in a specialization area. So I did my 2 years, and during those 2 years, which are 4 rotations, right? And during those 2 years, I did 3 of what you call transactional seats. But then in my final one, after a bit of exposure to advisory, which is the other side, advisory is where you're literally advising on the law, and it's a bit like slow-paced. Transactional, on the other hand, you can imagine there's people's money at play, so it's always like very tight timelines and always like adrenaline rush, let's go. Then advisory is more of like a client comes to you and then they have this point of flow that they want to do. Maybe it's a compliance issue, they want to figure out if they're compliant with A, B, and C, or they want to figure out if they're allowed under the regulations that govern them, if they can do A, B, and C. So I'd gotten a bit of exposure to that during some of my seats, and I figured, let me try a different one for my 4th seat. So I tried a advisory seat, right? But as much as this seat is mainly advisory, it also had a bit of transactional. So that's one of the reasons why I liked it, because I felt like it was a good balance. So I did that seat, and I think within a few weeks I was like, this is where I want to end up. this is actually where I want to end up. And so what usually happens is that like about 6 weeks into the final seat, there's what we call the qualification round, right? Which is when now the firm is saying, okay, you've done these seats, you're qualifying in about 5 months. Which area of specialty do you want to qualify into, and do we have space as a firm to take you in that? So remember I said I knew that this is the one that I want to be in. So I applied for that one, and it came back basically saying that unfortunately we're a small area and we are only taking about 2 people, and there are other people that we've already sat with for like a full 6 months who we've had time to assess properly, who want to take up the position. So unfortunately won't be able to offer you qualification in this seat because we haven't had enough time to assess you. Obviously this was my introduction. I'm like, so what happens to me now? Like what do you mean? Like what happens to me now? And they're like, no, there is another practice area that does have space and is looking for people who want to qualify. So if you want to take that up, you can also like give that a go. And then I thought about it and I was like, this is a practice area that I absolutely do not want to get into. I was just like very clear that this is a for the rest of my life type of a thing. This is not just just go and spend a few weeks there and then you figure it out. This was going to be like a tying myself for the rest of my career, and saying this is the type of flow that I want to practice. And I had like mixed feelings of feeling like, should I just take whatever they'll give me for the sake of continuity and staying with the firm, or should I decline and then just see how it goes, right? So after thinking about it and after like speaking to my husband, I decided that I would decline the opportunity to go for something else. So what this meant was that I had 5 months to find another job. Otherwise, I had to leave the UK because remember, I'm in the UK on a work visa. So I remember after the department that I wanted to go into said they couldn't take me, my principal was a partner in that department, sat down with me and was like, we're really sorry we couldn't take you, when we're a small group, this sometimes happens. But if you are sure that this is the area that you want to end up in, I know a few people, because she was a partner who's like practiced for decades. So like I know a few people at different firms. I can like make some calls and get you speaking to them, and I'm sure something will come up. And I actually couldn't believe myself. Like I was like, God, here is this person that you've just sent to look out for me. Remember, this was just like 6 or 8 weeks into this seat, and here was this, and it was a lady, I must say, because usually people say in the workplace women hate each other. It was a woman, and here's this woman who is going above and beyond and saying, I'm going to put in a good word for you to people who I know, if this is really what you want, And that's one lesson there. I had only been there for like 8 weeks, but I had had a very good relationship with my principal, and I think relationships are a big social currency. Like wherever you end up, just like treat people well, be a respectful person, be a likable person, and people will usually go above and beyond for you. And so I'm like, yes, of course, please, like hook me up. And immediately like typed out some emails to some big partner at some big firm, and I was like, look, I have one of my trainees here who unfortunately we can't take because of capacity, but I wanted to check if you guys have capacity. And the partner was like, currently there's no role that's open, but I mean, if she comes recommended by you, I am going to take this up and I'm going to speak to the people in my department, and we're going to see what to do. So that was the first one. And then the second one, she put me in touch with a recruiter. She's like, I used to use this recruiter when I used to work for the bank, and I wanted to recruit people. So as much as we're trying to get you into this firm, let's work with the recruiter as well. Put me in contact. Hi, so-and-so, this is my trainee. She needs a role, etc, etc, etc. And that contact was like, sure, all good. This is not my person. And like in no time, I had like a, glimmer of hope. But even though I had a glimmer of hope during that time, I remember distinctly feeling like maybe this is a sign that this is not meant for me. Maybe this is a sign that I'm not as good as I thought I was. So I sometimes used to have like bouts of feeling like I don't deserve to be in the spaces I'm in, feeling like it's just by chance that I made it to this big international firm. This is despite evidence or a track record of excellent, grades throughout my uni and my masters and all that. The paper said I deserved to be there, but fears, whatever, doubt, and all that would creep up and be like, actually, you are here with people from Oxford and Cambridge and all those, schools. It's just a stroke of luck that you ended up here. So I remember during that time, now when it was clear that I would not be staying here, but I don't have anything lined up as yet, I really struggled with feeling like I had failed, feeling like a failure, feeling like the day that I had dreaded for so long, which is the day they would discover I'm not good enough, had finally come. So anyway, cut the long story short, I did interviews, many interviews from the recruiter, some even for other departments that were not this department that I wanted, which is financial regulation, right? And that didn't quite work out. And then with this one where my principal had spoken to the partner at the firm, I went through all the interviews until the last interview, and I got there, and the head of the group was like, yes, we really want to take you, but as you know, there is no current opening. So I would need to convince management that as much as we don't have a current opening, we need to take you on, because they then need to approve the budget, because if there's no vacancy and you're bringing someone in, money has to come from somewhere. So she's like, otherwise you're in, I just need to convince management. So like I was holding on for dear life, and I was praying, and I was like, Lord, this thing needs to work out, because if it doesn't work out, I don't know what happens. So I wait, and I would follow up and be like, yeah, we're in talks with management, just hold on, we're in talks. And then finally word came, and they said, unfortunately, we have failed to convince management. They just said the market is a bit bad right now and there's no budget to hire you. Okay. And by this time, I think it was the end. I had now finished my contract with the previous firm, and now I had like a couple of weeks to go before I needed to leave the UK. And I was like, okay, God, I don't know what you're doing here. I left home and I came here because I believe you blessed this journey. I moved my husband all the way to the UK because I believed that you blessed this journey. You know that I'm taking care of family back home because of the job that I have in the UK that allows me the resources to do that. If you're going to strip me of this, what will become of me? If you're going to strip me of this, what will become of my husband? If you're going to strip me of this, what will become of the people that I'm taking care of? And I was like, I don't know what you're going to do, but you have to sort this out, because there's no way I come this far only for you to leave me. So anyway, I'm like, okay, fine, not the result that we wanted, but still, I have a big name on my CV. Something's gonna come up. So, but now, because I'm time conscious now, I have to like let go of my preferences, and now I was just applying for other departments where I didn't quite mind working in, even though they were not my first preference. So I did a couple of interviews, and then randomly, if I tell you that I don't even remember submitting a CV to this recruiter or applying for any, I don't know how it happened. I randomly got a call on some day saying, hi, this and this law firm, also part of the Big Five. Remember I said there's a magic circle. They told me this law firm is recruiting for an associate for financial regulation. So they need someone at your level. Are you interested? I was like, what? Absolutely no ways. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is exactly the role that I wanted, and you're telling me that a firm that is at the same standing as the one that I'm coming from is recruiting for it. This is after being like sort of rejected in a sense by a firm which was a lower tier, like lower level than the one that's now on my radar. And I was like, of course, absolutely, I'm so interested. So I think this was on a Tuesday. And she's like, cool, send me your CV, let me look through it, and let me get it to the partners, and I'll get back to you. Obviously, first updated my CV, and I sent to that recruiter. Then she came back to me, I think within a day, and was like, the partners would like to interview you on Thursday. Are you available? I'm like, of course, say no more. So she arranged for that interview. So I had that interview on a Thursday with the partners. And yeah, it really went well. We had a very great conversation. It was so chilled. Like, it was literally just a conversation. And fine, we parted ways after that. Then after the interview, the recruiter calls me and she's like, good news, the partners want to move on to the second stage of the interview. So I'm going to send you a take-home technical exam to work on, assignment rather, to submit next Monday. So this was on Friday. So she sends me the assignment on Friday and she says it's due on Monday. So it's fine. Sabbath comes and goes. After that, I work hard at that assignment and I submit it on Monday. Right. Tuesday, she calls me and she says they've had a chance to review your assignment and it's great. They want to move on to the final stage. This is a week from the time she was like, these guys are recruiting, are you interested? 1 week later, she was telling me that I'm moving to the final stage. And I was like, this is flipping unbelievable. She's like, can you meet on Thursday? I was like, yes, I'm available. So Thursday, I had the final stage interview with 2 other senior members of the team. Another 30 to an hour conversation. It was also like very chilled. And then, yeah, that was it. And then now came the waiting game. Because now all the interview stages are done. Now it's just the waiting of, okay, are these people going to hire me? Are they going to hire me? And I'm like, God, you cannot drop this big thing on my lap and get me excited and then take it away. This better be the real thing. Then the next week comes Tuesday. I kid you not, 2 weeks from the first day that she asked me if I'm interested. She calls me and she says, congratulations, they want to hire you. If I tell you that in all the application processes that I had gone through, all of them had taken 3 weeks or more before getting a rejection. But this one that God had ordained for me, from the moment I heard about it to the time I had an offer, it happened in only 2 weeks. And so she says they will get in touch with you. Immediately HR got in touch with me and I looked at the package. The pay was higher than the pay that I would have had if I had stayed at my old firm. I had more days for holiday. The perks were great. And I literally was like, sign me up, take me, I am yours. And yeah, just like that, I had gone from working in one Magic Circle firm, big name, to no idea where my life was going and possibly maybe having to go back home and back again to now going to work for another firm. And so which means now in my career, I have 2 big international law firm names on my CV. I remember in that time I was like, you know what, God, I know now that all things work together for the good to them that love you. And I know now that our plans and our strategy and however we map up these things in our heads for how things are supposed to fall in place, sometimes it doesn't fall in place, but you are always in charge. And I started at the job. I've been at the job for over a year now, and honestly, I'm in a good space. The team is great. My pay has gone up twice in the past 1 year because pays go up every 6 months. My pay has gone up twice in the past year. It's just been a good ride, a good 1 year. And so I didn't want to share the story because, like I said earlier, usually we don't share, those parts of us where we feel like we've failed because we always want people to, think that we've got it all figured out. But I hope that in me sharing and you hearing my story of how you can go from like glory to nothing and back to glory, I hope it gives you some hope that whatever situation you're facing in life right now, whatever looks dark and dim, just trust in the fact that God sees and that God hears and that God is a good and loving Father who will not let things go unsolved for too long. It might not happen so fast or in 2 weeks like it happened for me, but just believe that God is working it out all for our good. Because sometimes we feel like God has said no, whatever, or is not bending to our will, or we're not getting what we want, but have we asked ourselves if the things that we want align with His will for our lives? So I hope this story has helped you see a side of me that I probably haven't shown before, which is a side that I have been in the pits before, but also seeing where I am now. I hope it gives you hope that even for you, the sun will shine again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Goodbye.